We are back, and as promised, Ivy Tech is back in the house. I'm so excited. We are going to talk about agriculture, everything that they need to know about the program at Ivy Tech.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about it. Is it new to Ivy Tech, or?
The agriculture program has been with Ivy Tech statewide for about 5 years. 6 regions in the state started up all at the same time, right at about 5 years ago.
Wow.
And Kokomo is one of those regions.
So what degrees do they have in the program?
We run 2 different kinds of degrees.
Okay.
We run an Associates of Science degree, which is designed to transfer students into a 4-year institution. Our primary transfer partner, of course, is Purdue University College of Agriculture. And we transfer into all their major degrees.
Okay.
The exception being ag engineering, that actually is in their engineering program.
Okay.
And then we run an Associates of Applied Science degree, which is designed for the student that doesn't wish to transfer on to do a bachelor's degree, but wishes to enter the workforce after completing the associate's degree.
Now you're mentioning transferring. Is Purdue the only one, or?
No. We have transfer agreements with Trine for people that are in that part of the state, and also with IUPU Columbus.
Oh, wow.
And as time goes by, we're also discovering that it's possible to make transfers. I've got students that are currently talking to Colorado State for their online agribusiness bachelor's program.
Wow.
And we've got students that are starting to talk to Kansas State. They're both very receptive to our students for those who want to do bachelor's degrees.
That's incredible. So
in agriculture.
What do you see for the future around here, or the future of agriculture?
Well, agriculture is really booming. It's an industry that has not experienced the recession in the same way, because while manufacturing was having to readjust itself, agriculture was really hitting its stride with changes in productivity, with the new technologies that we're applying in the field, and changes in world demand. Population growth worldwide is predicted to hit 9 billion people by 2040. And the United States is really critical to helping meet that food growth. And so the demand in food growth and growth in food demand, And so there's been a lot of effort being put into productivity increases, and that means the application of a lot of new technologies in the field, new seed technologies, and especially things like precision agriculture, the application of global positioning systems for guidance. Those guidance systems then allow us to be more precise with our inputs, whether it's seeding rates, variable rate seeding, variable rate application of crop protectants and fertilizers in the field. Or making sure that we're using the field optimally, using auto steer so we have straight rows, things like that, and measuring what our yields are based on on the go while we move through the field.
Now, does it take in factor, how the weather changes, just like the snowpocalypse that's getting ready to happen, but does it also factor in weather, or climate changes or things like that?
Well, actually, there's some really neat seed technologies that are starting to be available in the market for drought resistance in corn and soybeans, for example. So they are starting to adjust the seed stock to climate change.
Wow.
So that we can do that. The reason I bring up the precision ag is because we are making an investment in training students to operate, manage, and repair the precision ag equipment.
Very nice.
You may have seen, some people may have seen our utility vehicle that we've got out. We've got a small UTV that we've added a GPS monitor, auto steer, and a variable rate sprayer on it.
Wow.
Which seems like a lot of equipment to put on this little bitty platform, but the platform is easy to, the UTV is easy to move around and take out in the field without having the maintenance expense of a large piece of equipment. But it's got all the same technologies as a tractor or
that you would see out in the fields around town.
Right, and so we put that technology in our students' hands that way.
Wow. Just on a little smaller scale.
Yeah.
But the technology is huge.
Yeah, it's a manageable lab platform.
Sure.
But yeah, the technology's kind of fun.
So who actually would benefit most, do you think? From the technology, from the program, from all that you have to offer right now?
Well,
because this is a big deal.
Anybody who's interested in getting into those information systems would be a good fit for the precision ag side. A lot of my students end up working in crop services or in some sort of administrative function in an ag business. We specialize particularly in the crop services side, including the precision ag and then ag business.
Now, can people come in and watch some classes or see what you have to offer just to visit?
Sure, they can come visit. And if they want to take the time to arrange to sit in on a class, they're more than welcome to do that. They just need to contact me to arrange it.
And do you offer dual credits?
We do dual credit in some of the high schools in the area. We run dual credit on 3 different classes: natural resources, horticulture, and agribusiness management. And whether that's available to a student depends on whether the school offers those courses and then chooses to enter into a dual credit agreement with Ivy Tech. Ivy Tech dual credit is always free to the student. We do not charge tuition to high school students in dual credit courses, but that credit is true Ivy Tech credit. It's good throughout the state in our agriculture programs, and those credits apply to the applied science degree. So a student can come in with 3 credits or 6 credits done out of the 62 that we require for the dual credit degree. So it's like a little
jump start.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Where do they actually find the jobs after they've been in the program? Because that's what on everyone's mind. I mean, let's be honest.
Well, agriculture's statewide.
Sure.
So there's a lot of options. It kind of depends on if the student has geography limitations. But we have students that are have worked with crop services companies that specialize in providing crop protectants and fertilizer related services, seed companies, and we do have some students that are starting to look at implement dealers. I do have a handful of students that are farming for themselves. Wow. And I do have one student who ended up moving to Ohio, and she works in the grain industry. So
because it's more than just hopping in the tractor and plowing the field. This industry is huge.
Right. If you start looking at the logistics side and the supply industries and the process industries, it kind of depends on how far you count. But agriculture can account for 15 to 20% of the workforce once you start reaching that far. Wow. Most of my students actually do end up working in agribusiness as opposed to production agriculture, because there are only about 2% of our workforce works in production agriculture. But you've got fertilizer, seed, chemicals, equipment, the financial services that support agriculture. Then you've got where all the crops go, processing, grain handling, and then you've got accounting, banking. I mean, if you start thinking about where people with agricultural knowledge can start working, it's pretty broad. And then when you start looking at bachelor's degrees, it goes even further because fields like retail, food, and consumer marketing are housed under agriculture, and food science is under agriculture. And that includes things like viniculture, which is the winery industry.
Which is really stepping up to the plate lately, too.
Right. Packaging, development, advances like that were developed at Purdue. The packaging that makes it possible to hold juices in a shelf-stable condition, that was developed in the food science departments. Wow. And so when we start saying what's agriculture, it starts reaching pretty far.
A lot of fingers.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back with even more because there's a few more questions I have. So we'll be right back. We are back, and the most important question I have is, why is agriculture important to everyone?
Everybody eats.
Some more than others.
You'd be amazed how many plant-based products or animal-based products are in everything that you consume in every aspect of your life. Agriculture provides food, it provides fiber. I mean, you're wearing the product of agriculture. It provides important inputs for all kinds of products that you use, whether it's cosmetics or plastics, and then of course there's the fuel component. And so agriculture, you may not feel like you have a connection to it, but you do. You're involved in agriculture every time you put on your clothes and every time you pick up a fork.
It's always there.
Yeah.
How do people get involved? How do they find out more information about the program itself?
They're more than welcome to just contact me at Ivy Tech. We've got things going on all the time. I mean, with classes and everything. I've got a student club that is pretty active, and they just need to call me at the campus or email me. And my email is jvandeburg at ivytech.edu.
And you will hook them up. The technology is amazing, and down to the vehicle of actually getting out there into the field and doing some of that field work. So you're definitely going to want to check it out. It's awesome, the things that are coming out of Ivy Tech. So we'll be right back with even more from Ivy Tech.